everyone.
Everybody. Welcome to Knit Chat. So again, as always, first question, can you see us and hear us? So my name is Noelle, and this is my friend,
Kelly.
And we are Knits and Pieces. We are a mostly knitting podcast, but this is our Tuesday evening get together at our Knit Chat Cafe just to kind of go over everything.
And we were away last week. And we've got some catching up to do, and it seems like a long time since we've been in here.
Yeah, and I want to thank everybody. I had lots of well wishes, and it was nice to read that. And my mind's finally clearing of painkillers, and so. But I really appreciate that, and things are going well, and just I'm just a little impatient, and there's just a lot more weeks of sitting on the couch knitting, which should make me happy, but anyway.
That would bring you joy if you had options, but because that's all you can do, that's what you don't want to do. And that is our sad lot in life, that whatever it is that we do not have, that's usually the thing that we want the most.
Yep.
And but you just have to be patient. I think you're doing great for a week post surgery.
And I think, again, shout out to my hair curler thing, because it is way easier than standing to blow dry your hair or straightening it. So thank you to that, and thank you to Jacqueline, who actually helped me put a little bit of makeup on, because that has not been done for. Today's the first day I've had pants on in over a week.
That's right. That's right. Yes. But you got to leave the house today, actually.
I did. Today I had to leave the house for a dressing change. So that was exciting. I did take my knitting with me. I have to tell you a little bit about the surgery, though, because I was called and told I could go in early. So I thought, okay, fine. I'll go in early, bring my knitting, that means less time to wait. And I get there and they get everything set up and put the IV in. And by the time they've got that in, I can't bend my hand enough to knit. And then I said, well, he was early, like what are we? Oh no, he's back to his regular schedule. And I'm like, so now I got 2 hours to sit here and not knit. So I think Ross wanted to leave at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was coming out of the anesthetic, apparently I had my fingers like this, and I was going like this, and they had no idea. Like, the nurses had no idea what the heck I was doing. And then I looked at my hands and I went, I guess I'm not knitting. So they just laughed, but I dreamed I was knitting when I was waking up. So
yeah, I think that's the best part. I wish somebody had been able to take a little video of you just like air knitting. I know. Well,
I know. I can't imagine what they thought. Like, what is this lady doing? But anyway, unfortunately, there wasn't real yarn in my hand at that time.
No.
So, but anyway, so yeah, so hopefully I'll get some more knitting done in the next little while. The first couple of days I didn't really do too much knitting because I kind of had to lay flat, but I've been knitting a little more the past few days. So,
well, if I compare this Tuesday night to last Tuesday night when I was chatting with you, you are 100% improved.
Yeah.
So we are just happy to have you back. Thank you to everybody that watched the pre-recorded session that we did for last week. We didn't want to leave everybody hanging. It felt very strange for me not to have a knit chat to do on a Tuesday night. I even cooked dinner that night. My husband didn't know what was going on. But anyway, we are happy to be back tonight. We had thought maybe that Noelle wouldn't be able to, but she seems to have gotten herself propped up on her perch. And
yep, I have my I'm sitting kind of sideways, if that's why you're wondering, but I have to have my foot up. I can't put my foot down yet, so it's kind of sitting off to the side. Yeah, so we'll see how long I can sit here like this. It's a little not totally comfortable, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yes. So we want to give a shout out to the first person in here tonight that I saw in the chat was Baja Queen. And I love the name Baja Queen because it makes me think of someplace much warmer than here. We've been going through a bit of a polar vortex, and it has been incredibly cold. Although today the temperatures did climb up a little bit, just around the freezing mark, just so that we could get a really nice dump of freezing rain, canceled all the schools and everything else that was going on today in the area. And I went out to shovel the snow in my driveway today, and it was just a sheet of ice underneath there. So it is slowly melting. So I'm hopeful that is going to kind of keep this cold weather away, because it's been super unpleasant. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know because I haven't been out, but today was not a fun day to go out. But luckily, my son lives in town, not too far from me, so he could come and get me. And actually, by the time he picked me up, they'd at least plowed the roads. And I don't know if we've gotten freezing rain yet or not, but it was pretty slick this morning, and nothing was too cleared. So, yeah.
Susan here, and she said that she had surgery yesterday and she was dreaming that she was
There you
knitting
go.
and she didn't want to wake up because she was enjoying the knitting
Our
so much.
mind must just take us to that happy place when something's happening to our bodies.
That's right. Absolutely.
Anyway.
Oh, and Ellen says that when her husband was sick, he milked
He milks cows.
and so he seemed unsettled and told him that his motions were mimicking milking the cows. So you're right. That must be his happy place. Everybody has a different happy place, and we're happy that you can all find yours.
Right. So
okay. Well, what do we want to get into tonight? I see that you got the memo from the very limited wardrobe that is laid out for you
downstairs for me.
In your downstairs room. That there was a vest left there for you, and just coincidentally, we showed up tonight in vests.
Yep, we did. Okay, so let's see what we're wearing first, and then there was just a couple of questions that we can go through. So, do you want to go first?
Sure, I can go first.
You go first. I'll look for banners.
You can do that? You can still remember how?
I actually can do that. Yeah. Well, okay, I say that I haven't done it yet.
So I am wearing the Riptide vest by Jennifer Shields Toland. And this vest, I think I actually wore this one 2 weeks ago, but I wanted to wear this one tonight because we have a very special giveaway for you a little bit later in the show, and it involves Jennifer and her patterns. And this is the vest pattern that I knit. This is, for me, what started the fall down the rabbit hole of all things Riptide. And I love this vest. I love the construction. I love the details. I did pop a picture into, I'm not going to stand up, but there is a,
here, I got it.
There. So you can see the construction a little bit better. The pattern is so very well written. That's all I have to say. The attention to details and the lovely way that you don't have to pick up stitches for the armhole. She incorporates the ribbing in there, and it's a beautiful finish. I love the way the shaping underneath the arm for the arm side. It has a split hem. I guess you can't really see that in this photo. And it's just absolutely a lovely, lovely piece to add to my wardrobe. And I am so happy to have this. And this is a yarn that we both bought, Moondrake yarn, when we were at Pick Up Everything.
We thought we were buying the same thing.
We thought we were buying the same. We both bought Moondrake, but you bought the Cormo, and this was a color that was actually in the shop made up as a sample for the vest that you happen to be wearing tonight, which is the Friday slipover. And I fell in love with the color. And I did talk about this 2 weeks ago, but I'm going to say it again. This is not a color that I would have gone into a store and sought out by any means. It's just not something that would have crossed my radar, but I have to say, I absolutely love it. And I keep finding ways to wear this color. It is called Burnt Orange, and this is the Coradale DK by Moondrake. It's such a glorious color. And although it's like a very vibrant orange, it's surprisingly...
It looks really good with the chambray shirt.
Yeah, it's surprising how versatile, and this is not what I would call a neutral color, but I'm telling you, there are things in my closet, more than one thing. Originally, I thought it would only go with a white shirt, but I keep finding things to wear with it, and I'm just ever so happy about that. And I would knit something in this color again, for sure. I would. And I really, really like it. So you can, if you, what I find is if I wear it with something darker, it seems more dramatic. And then I threw it on with this tonight and I wanted to see what it would look like. And I think it kind of softens it. So it tones it down a little bit. It looks different depending on what color pants I wear with it, I find. And I'm really, really happy with it. So, and you?
Okay, I am wearing...
I'll look for the banners.
Okay, I am wearing the Friday Slipover by Petite Knit. And as Kelly said, I tried this on at I guess I thought my brain was clear, but apparently it's not.
Pick up every
Pick up every
stitch.
stitch in Mount Kisco when we were there, and really, really liked the pattern. And I really do like how it fits. Again, this is a very well-written pattern as well. You do have to, when you go back on this one, you do have to go back and pick up for the armhole edges, and you do pick up for the neckband. But like how she does when you come down, how she does the increases just blend right into the broken rib pattern. Like she just has it blend in seamlessly where the increases are. And then once you join it all in the round, you knit down. And then when you get down to the bottom, it's just like a straight 1x1 rib for your rib at the bottom. You kind of stop the broken rib. So this took 2 skeins for my size of the Cormo DK by Moondrake. And this color was called Red Velvet. So it's kind of like a burgundy-ish red, and the same, like, I mean, I really do love this color. I don't know why I don't have more things in it, but I really do like this color. And again, this is, I think the last time I wore it, I had it on with a really patterned shirt, and then this time just with like a simple just turtleneck, and it just adds that little bit of warmth, but you don't have a whole sweater on, so you're not as hot as throwing a whole sweater over something. Yeah, so perfect for layering. So again, so those are 2 ideas that if you want to join the vest knit along, they're patterns that we both love. I'm working on the one that Kelly's wearing, and hopefully that's going to be done. Might even be done tomorrow.
Might be.
Yes. Of course, I don't know how I'm going to block it or wear it, but.
And even if you do finish, you have nowhere to wear it to anyway.
I have nowhere to wear it to anyway. So anyway.
Oh, goodness.
Anyway. Okay, so go ahead.
Since we were talking about the vests, and let's just go into this before we do admin. Sorry. Okay. Let's do our make along slide.
Okay.
So we talked about this in our video that we released last week about a vest make along. So we are hosting a vest make along, vest/slipover, whatever it is you call it in your neck of the woods, because everybody sort of has a different name for it. And we started that back in the beginning of January, and we are running that through until March 31st. So it is any vest pattern in knit or crochet, or if you can find any other way.
If you weave something and put it together, that's
yes, absolutely. Find another way out of fiber to make yourself a vest. It is absolutely welcome into the make along. And okay, do you want to talk about the other?
If you haven't watched, we did have an episode last week about vests, and we showed a lot of different vest patterns there if you need something to get some inspiration to get started.
Also, the designer for this vest, the Riptide, which is Jennifer, she is JST Designs on Ravelry. She's hosting a make along as well, and I believe hers goes until only January 31st.
Yes, because mine's going to be done.
Today is the 23rd, and 7 days is more than enough days to make a vest because there's no sleeves. And that's the name of our make along, is actually make a vest, give sleeves a rest. Clever little play on words that Noelle came up with. And we actually had a lot of fun making that video too, where we found some patterns that maybe hopefully would inspire you. There's a few in there that well, there's really only, I guess, 3 in there that we've actually made, but there's more that we want to make. And we tried to find something that maybe could suit a variety of tastes. And we had both knitting and crocheting, and different yarn weights. Yes. So hopefully you'll check that out if you haven't already. And if you like what you see, that would be really nice if you would give us a thumbs up or even subscribe to the channel. That would be great too.
And there are threads on Ravelry, because there's already at least, I don't know if there might be more now, but at least 1 finished vest in there. So there are threads set up for chatter and for finished objects. So
there were so many options. Once we started looking at some of the patterns that we wanted to showcase for that episode, it just took me in a different direction too. Like what I had originally thought of as a vest, it kind of stretched what I was thinking, because I've sort of have been firm on what my ideal vest looks like. It has narrow shoulders. It fits high up onto the shoulder. I like something cropped. But then once I started looking, you know what? Some of the things that I came up with even to show were not what conformed to my original plan of what my ideal vest was. So I'm thinking that there are ways to stretch myself as well and get out of my comfort level and find something a little bit different too. So,
Okay, so we also have our Advent along. So that's where you work on something kind of a little bit all year long, so that when it gets to December, you're not so focused on having to get something done. So if you've got an Advent calendar from a previous year, or even just like bits and pieces of yarn that you want to kind of make into one, or if you're doing, like for instance, one of Natalie's sweater patterns that's different bands of different things. She's got sock patterns like that too. So the Advent make along, there is a chatter thread at the moment. There won't be a finished object thread until December, but we encourage you to try and do something, like a little bit every month, so that you're not so stressed out in December. And Natalie also does still have, she had set up a discount code for some of her patterns that would be perfect for that, her sock patterns and sweater patterns. And that is still good until the 31st of January. And I think we had a banner for that.
Let me look for that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. So the code for her Advent patterns is KNPalong24. And if you go into the Ravelry thread for the Advent, there is a list in that thread of the patterns that are available for that discount. And I believe it's 30% off until January 31st. So we want to thank Natalie for that too. Okay, and then do you want to talk about the sock make along?
Sure. So the sock make along, this is not new for us. We're running this one again. We wanted to have some things that you're familiar with, and then we wanted to sort of switch things up every quarter and have a new make along for you. But this one we're going to run again because socks are near and dear to our hearts, and it seems that they are to yours as well, because we had nearly 3,000 pairs knit and entered into our Ravelry group last year in 2023. So I'm fairly confident that we can get to 3,000 this year for sure.
Right. If ours were in there, it would have been 3,000.
Yes. Oh, it would have been quite a bit over, because you knit how many pairs yourself? Just
I knit 12 adult pairs for the family. So
yeah, absolutely.
And there were other pairs in there too. So
yes. So the premise behind this is knit your socks, and when you finish them, and we don't care when you start them, it doesn't even matter whether you start them this year or last year, or you found a whip bag that's got something in there from 10 years ago. It doesn't even matter. Whenever you finish is when you enter, and each month we draw a prize, and we draw 2 prizes each month, and we always do that on the last day of the month. And then we announce all of our winners, by the way, are always announced here on our podcast. We don't announce them anywhere else. So you'll have to tune in to find out if you're a lucky winner. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So do you have any finished objects?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Yes.
I do too. How many do you have?
I have 2.
So
and I know you have more. You have,
no, I just have 2.
Okay. Okay. Oh, these are finished from last week, but anyway, okay, I'm going to leave that one. I'll do this one first. Okay. I finished these socks, so I won't be entering them in our make along, but I wish I could, because gosh, aren't they pretty?
They are pretty. I like that. Well, of course, I love the black to pink fade.
I know, it's so pretty. This is the I'm in the wrong spot. This is the Springtide Socks by This Handmade Life. I'll just put one down to show you. This is it was a little 2 skein fade that I bought at VKL Columbus. So this is deep stash from a few years ago. And I think the idea behind it was just that you make shorty socks. There was only 30 grams in each skein, and it was a gradient. So I chose to start with the pink because I wanted to see the pink probably the most. And then it's a very gradual fade up to this sort of lovely wash of a pale pink at the top. And then I added contrast toes. So for me, 30 grams, normally in a sock, I'm only at about 35 grams if I use a contrast heel and toe. So I knew for 30 grams, I could get a pair of socks out of this. And these are the equivalent of like an ladies 8.5, just for a size comparison. And I knit my socks on a 2.25 needle. So just carried on doing that. And I used contrast heel and a contrast little bit at the top as well. And this is the colorway Licorice by Timber Yarns. Yes. And this yarn is by the Lady Llama Fiber Co. And this color was called Star Lord, which I think might be a reference to the Guardians of the Galaxy, Chris Pratt character. Although I'm not sure how this fits in with that. So maybe it's completely something different, but I know that's kind of his nickname in the movie. But it's so pretty. And this, it's just a very delicate pattern, not much of a pattern at all. It's just a simple little, it's like a one stitch cable. You just cross the cable in front and then you just go in alternating directions. And I don't know, maybe you can see it more on the foot or less. It doesn't show a lot on this color, but it is just a nice little texture to have. And this is a really soft yarn. It's a very soft yarn. So I'm excited to have these. And I think this will look super cool with some of my clogs too. Maybe my pink ones.
Oh, maybe I'll be able to wear those soon.
Maybe you will. Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, okay, my first finish, and they were almost finished last time, but I think I either finished them that night or the next morning. But they are, okay, now I just got to find them. I can't. Okay, sorry, can you find it? Anyways, oh, there they are. Wait. So these are the Eowyn Mittens by Anne Alla Poncho. So these I had almost finished last time, but they are finished now. So these are done with,
pretty.
They're done with full moon fibers.
Crackpaca.
No, blue moon.
Blue moon
fibers, crackpaca, yes. And it is the color I Smell Snow. So this is what I had left over from my Deep Jean pullover. So I just really liked, I really like the way that it has the lace panel in the middle there. And then when you turn on the back, the rib actually comes up, even though on the front, you're still doing the lace panel. So it really brings it in at your wrist. So it's a really nice feature to keep it snug against your wrist. And then I asked Ross, I just said, I don't have any mitten blockers. Like, I don't know how to show these. So I said, can you make me some? So he did.
Just go to the garage and whip those up, will you, Ross?
Basically that day, yeah. So he made them they're just out of like a thin wood, but then he put the thumb on that's got like a little rivet thing here that I can move it up and down and move it in and about, or, you know, if you just had wrist warmers, like move it totally in. And he just kind of like did a rough and then came and measured my hand against it and then just made them for me so that I could have them for showing my mitts. So, and it does make a difference, because when you just hold them up and they kind of, and I mean, you don't want them to be super big when they're off the blocker, because you want them to be snug against your hands, but it really does show off the lace texture and everything a lot nicer when you put them on. Well, just like it looks better if you have them on your hand, you can see the lace texture than just holding them up to show them. So, okay, so that's my first.
Okay, so my next one, and this is going to lead us into the giveaway. Is your next one the hat too?
Yep.
Yes. Yep. Okay. So last weekend, again, Jennifer Shields Toland was hosting in her Ravelry group. She is JSTDesign. She was hosting a Hats Off to 2024 knit along. And you could knit any one of her hat patterns. You had 3 days to knit the hat. We started on the 12th at noon.
And we started right after we finished doing the
podcast. Yes, and the cast on time. So we had my husband was home that day, so we got him to take a picture of us in front of my clock shortly after noon so that everybody could see that we were casting on at the appropriate time. And I knit the Skoger hat and you knit the bubbly brioche beanie. And so I'll show mine first.
Okay.
Just gonna grab. Okay, so this is mine.
I love it. I want to
I
make one.
know. I love it too. I absolutely love it. I have a couple of pictures in here of me wearing it just so you can kind of see it better than me holding it up. I love this gorgeous bit at the top. The crown is just absolutely stunning. And here's a side shot of it. So it's very, this is in full disclosure, this is only my second ever brioche project. I did a shawl by Andrea Mowry, and now I've done a hat in brioche. And I have to say, and it's been a long time since I did the shawl. So brioche was one of those things for years as a knitter. The word was terrifying to me because I thought this is like so far out of my comfort zone. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing. It's an entirely different language. I don't know what I'm doing, but I really like this hat. And I thought, well, I did a shawl. I can remember how to do little bits of it, but here's the truth of the matter. The pattern is so well written. You don't need to know. You don't need to know how to do anything with brioche. She is going to walk you through every step. And she had tutorials along the way. It was really, really just such a well-written pattern. Things I love about it. Everybody knows that I like a fatter brim hat. This is very nice. This is knit double. So I used fingering weight yarns. I could show those off first. This is the, I always get it backwards. It's Lisa's, I want to say sit a bit and knit and spin. No, it's none of those things. Unwind and knit with me. Oh my gosh. So sorry, Lisa. A lot of you have heard us talk about Lisa. She's from New Zealand and she has a store in her home. The best thing ever. And this is her house brand of yarn. And it's a high twist merino. And this colorway is volcanic. And as soon as I started knitting with this, I just knew that I need to have more of this. I love this color. Absolutely. Look at this color. Yeah, I need to have a sweater in this color. So I reached out to Lisa, and some skeins of it are coming when she comes to Canada in May for Knit City. So this was my sort of main color. And then for my contrast in the brioche, I used the Rauma Gamelsari. I don't know if I'm saying it right. And it is color 438, and it's sort of the smoky blue color. And I absolutely love the way this turned out. It's so, so gorgeous. And then it doesn't end there, friends. It got better. She was drawing prizes for participants, and I think she drew 3 people that participated, and I was one of the lucky winners. So excited. So I won. When she wrote this pattern, she used the Einrum Plus 2. Is it Einrum Plus 2 yarn?
I think so.
Which is an Icelandic yarn. And I've not had the opportunity to use it. And that was part of the prize, as was 2 more of her patterns. And the patterns that I am choosing, well, one is going to be, and I know that I put the pattern in. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. I just did this before the show. Okay, I might have to do that while you're talking about yours.
Okay.
So this one anyway is called the Skoger hat. Oh, and I think I was saying this you hold double when you knit the brim. So you have a nice squishy, and this is super squishy brim, and then you fold the brim up. So I like that idea. You can either do it with a folded brim or just a straight brim. And yes, I have a piece hanging because I haven't decided if I wanted to put a small pom-pom on it or not. I'm kind of leaning to no, but I left a piece in there just in case. So anyway, this is the Skoger hat, and it's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, so talk about yours, and then I'll show you what I'm getting to go with that.
Okay, so mine is the Bubbly Brioche Beanie by Jennifer Shills Tolan. And here is mine. And this is a fingering weight brioche project again. And like Kelly said, I think this is actually, my 3rd brioche, but one was that I did was kind of patterned, and then one was just a shawl that had like a section that just had like straight lines for 2 inches or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I love doing brioche. I don't find it super difficult. What I find challenging is when you make a mistake correcting it.
Yes.
So I actually found a tutorial by Stephen West, just a really short tutorial, and it helped immensely. Like I can easily go back and drop down now and fix a line. Now it's a little bit more difficult when you get into the pattern, but I will get that. But I can easily, if I've dropped in a line, I can easily go down like 3 or 4 rows and fix a stitch. So that was a big help to know that, because, you know, you think you're being so careful and you don't think anything's that, you know, you're not going to drop anything or miss anything, but it happens. So that was a real game changer to be able to fix that. And then I've put a pom-pom on mine. It's just a pom-pom with a snap, so I can take the pom-pom off if I want to wash the hat. And then I've just got my little tag there on the side. And I've got a couple of pictures here too, but I really enjoyed knitting this. And mine is done in the base underneath yarn. The navy yarn is Retrosario Mondim, which is 100% Portuguese non-superwash wool. And then the pattern, if you can see it's multicolored in the, I don't know if you call that the accent color. I guess it's the accent color. But it is also a yarn from New Zealand that I got when I was there at Ashford, but it was a yarn that was dyed by KnitColor. And I do think that Lisa sells some of those in her shop. And the color, it's 100% merino, and the color is Rocky Road. So it's kind of like little purplies and pinks and a little bit of blue. So it went really nice with just the navy.
Yes.
So let me see the pictures here.
Oh,
so
sorry. I should have pulled those up.
Okay, so there's a picture, and yeah, I really like the way the hat fits. I really like it. Zoe really liked it. She wants one. So I really enjoyed the brioche. So there's definitely going to be more brioche in the future. So
it is an absolutely perfect match too for that sweater that you're wearing in the picture.
Yeah, yeah. Who knew, right? Well, when you buy all the same colors of yarn.
It was really funny too, because we once again, our knitter ESB was working. When Noelle came to my house last Friday, when we were getting ready to record the episode, we didn't know what each of us were making our hats for the hat make along. We didn't know what we were doing. I think we knew which pattern we had chosen.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to use that beautiful yarn that you bought me from New Zealand, from Lisa's store, and I paired it up with a nice blue. And then she pulls hers out and she goes, I'm using New Zealand yarn as well. And her accent color was very similar to the blue.
Well, so it was a blue rustic yarn.
Yeah, a blue rustic yarn. But I like it's very interesting. So brioche, I mean, this one, you know, the colors are quite contrasty, and in yours, the colors are not so contrasty, and you get two very different looks.
Yeah.
And your hat is super squishy too. I got a chance to see it on the weekend when I was at your house, and it's just, So, okay, I uploaded while you were chatting. This is what I have chosen as one of my patterns that I'm going to do.
Those are pretty.
These are called the Hansky mitts, and she has the pattern written in 2 options for you to do either mittens or fingerless. And yes, it matches the hat. So I have lots left over. I used only 50 grams of this and only 15 grams of this color. So I have lots left over to make those mittens. And I haven't decided. I feel like I'm probably going to go to the fingerless gloves, because that's like something that I wear a lot of, but those mittens are pretty cool too. So I don't know. We'll see when I get the pattern, what I decide. Well, I guess you will all see what I decide. Okay. So, that takes us to.
Okay. Someone was asking if the brioche is difficult to do. I don't think it is. And Jennifer does have really good explanations. And I believe that, I don't know if I looked at the tutorial because I could understand it from reading it, but I think she had tutorials, didn't she?
She had tutorials. I looked at a couple of tutorials because this stitch here, where everything was kind of coming together, was like there was a lot of pieces in that stitch. It looks like it wouldn't be, but there were actually quite a few moving pieces. And then I did look at her tutorials even as well, I think for like here where you've got something going on, like the leaning to one side. So I had to look at them as well. Yeah,
I would say like go for it. There are lots of and even if one tutorial is not necessarily the best for you, if you just type in like brioche, you will find there are lots of tutorials out there to explain it. Like, to me, I don't know why it's got this whole thing of being really difficult. And I think, again, for me, the most difficult part of it is it's harder to fix mistakes, because like we're so used to our regular stitches and know how to drop down and fix something there. But with the brioche, because there's more kind of threads involved on each stitch, it's harder to know exactly where that, I don't know, in Stephen West's tutorial for correcting mistakes, he calls it the stitch and its shawl.
Okay. Yes.
So then it's a little bit easier to see, and he kind of shows you where it is. So it was kind of easier to drop down and fix that way. So it's a lot of fun. I would try it. A hat is a perfect project to try it out on because it's small,
agreed,
and it's going to be done soon. Yep. And you can actually, again, as in with these patterns, like you can find ones that have got like a fair bit of detail. So you are learning quite a bit as you do it, because in this one, you're learning how to increase, decrease. You know, you're doing the decreases when you get up to the crown of the hat. So it's a hat is a really good learning project for brioche, because you learn a lot of different stitches in it. And Kelly's and mine are fingering, but you don't have to do fingering. I know that Jennifer's got some patterns too that are actually for a heavier weight yarn, like a DK or a worsted weight. And that might even be easier for at first, because you can see your stitches a lot better.
Yes.
So, and I would say for your beginning project, you probably do want to have your yarns fairly contrasty, so you can actually see, you know, the two yarns. I know in mine, because the contrast is closer, in some cases, it was hard to see which was my contrast.
Thinking that about yours when I looked at yours, that it might have been a little trickier to see. Like with mine being a high contrast, it was very easy to always know where I was. And Carol has a good idea too. She says, start with a project maybe without increases if you haven't done it before, and then you'll understand the stitch. She said it's not hard. So I think there are some cowl patterns maybe on Jennifer's page as well, even that have brioche. She really likes brioche. It seems that she's got a fair bit on there in brioche. And again, her explanations were very, very clear. And I did check out the tutorials just to, sometimes when I read something, it's not as clear to me as when I see something. So for me, the tutorial, to be able to see it, was really helpful. Yeah. So that leads us to the fact that Jennifer has very graciously offered up a bundle of actually 6 of her patterns, and we're going to give away a set tonight. And I have a slide that shows you everything that's in the bundle. This is pretty exciting. So in the bundle, she has the hats that both Noelle and I knit, as well as the Riptide vest, the Riptide cowl that's on the top right, the Riptide mitts, which I also knit, and I'll show you in a bit, and then the Riptide shawl, and it's in versions 1, 3, 5, and it's in 3 different sizes. So you can do the small size that she's wearing in the photo, and then there's a little bit larger, and then there's like a full size 5 skein shawl if you are so inclined. We love this little Riptide stitch. We've been having a lot of fun. So we're going to keep chatting about it, but I will, let me just bring this up and show you. You're familiar with this if you've been here before. Why didn't it work? What did I do? Oh, there it is. Okay. So if you are interested to wear or win this lovely...
You will want to wear them.
You will want to wear them after they're knit. But if you are interested in winning this bundle tonight, if you want to type in hashtag Riptide, and you only need to type it one time, we're going to let this run for a few minutes, and then we'll keep chatting about things in the meantime. This Riptide has...
Go ahead.
Are we good? Yeah. Am I collecting the comments? I think I am.
Well, it looks like it is.
Okay, there we go. Good. It's been a bit of a rabbit hole for Noelle and I. So I did the vest, and then I think before I even finished the vest, Noelle had done the little scarf, like the tiny scarf, and then had come up with some mittens as well, fingerless mittens. It's such a fun and engaging pattern. I think you even added the stitch into a sock, did you not?
I did. I did a regular pair of adult socks, and then I also put them into a pair of baby socks.
Yes. And then I put them into I put that pattern into a pair of socks as well that I was working on. And today, well, I'll show this after, but I cast on the remainder of my yarn to make the little scarf shawl. So she's also, I'm going to bring this slide back up. So you can still keep entering. We haven't drawn yet. Okay. Keep typing in #Riptide if you haven't entered. So she is also hosting this on Instagram. And on Instagram, she is at JST Knitwear Designs. And she's giving away the same bundle on Instagram on Friday. So if you go on to Instagram, and you can find her under her Instagram tag, or if you look on mine or Noelle's, we had the giveaway posted on ours as well. And it's all going through to her. And you just have to follow all three of us on Instagram, and then tag a friend that you think would be interested in winning, because she's giving away not just one bundle on Friday, but the bundle, whoever she draws, the friend is getting a bundle as well. And we just really want to thank you, Jennifer. That is incredibly
so generous.
That is a lot of patterns, amazing. And they are amazing patterns. And I know you as well, had so much fun in the little hat knit along last weekend. It's such a friendly group of people that she has over there on Ravelry. They were very animated in the chat groups, and everybody was busy on their hats. And I really had a lovely weekend, and it was fun. It was just an extra huge surprise to have won something. And I am looking forward to trying out that yarn. But it was a lot of fun.
It was fun doing it. And like I said, I certainly hadn't thought, okay, I'm going to do a brioche hat, but sometimes just that little push, and then it's like, and now it's like, I want to do all of them.
Right. Absolutely. I know. And she's got so many beautiful patterns.
I should do everybody a brioche hat for Christmas next year instead of socks. It would be faster.
It would be. It would. But okay. So anyway, we'll kind of recap this at the end of the show too, but make sure you go on to Instagram and give her a follow and sign up for this giveaway if you don't win here tonight. Okay. I can't see how many entries we have. I don't know why my screen seems so small tonight. Maybe I need different glasses. I don't know. Or maybe it's time for an eye appointment.
Definitely, I can't see it.
It looks like a lot of entries. Is it sitting still? Okay. We're going to give you just like 5 seconds more, and then I'm going to do the draw. All right. Is everybody ready? Good luck. It's a great package. 320 entries.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, you didn't wait for me, Kelly.
You're not as fast as you used to be.
No, I know. I thought I was recovered. Apparently not. Yay, Judy.
Congratulations.
That's so awesome.
Judy, after the show is over, if you can reach out to us at knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com with your email address and possibly your Ravelry name, we will forward that to Jennifer. And I hope you are ready to do some knitting. You've got 6 beautiful patterns to pick from, and congratulations. Okay.
Okay, now were we giving away another set for people that comment under here?
Yes, we are.
Yes. Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
You are sharper than I thought you were tonight. Yes. So if you are not Judy and you still want to pack a group of the patterns, after the show is over tonight, you can go back into the comments, leave a comment. If you just have the word Riptide in there anywhere.
Why don't we do this?
Okay.
So we know that we showed you all of those 6 patterns. What we would like you to do, if you want to enter under the video tonight, is go into Jennifer Shields' website, not website, but her Ravelry, where her patterns are, and tell us one pattern that's not those patterns that you think you would like to knit.
Okay.
Because then we'll get to know more of the patterns, because there are other gorgeous patterns.
Well, her sweater patterns. Oh, her sweater patterns.
I know.
I am all over those sweater patterns.
I know. And there's
Yes.
even some sweater ones with just a little bit of brioche up at the yoke.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes. She has beautiful
yeah, so
patterns.
that's what we'd like you to do. Go in, look at Jennifer's patterns that she has on Ravelry, and let us know which pattern you especially like that is not included in the bundle that we're giving away.
Okay. So, and then we will draw that right before next week's knit chat, and we will announce the winner next week. So
Okay.
if you're not Judy, do that after the show is over tonight, and we'll see if we can win you.
Okay, and
or
then
if you
if we
can win a
do
package.
that, whoever wins, what other pattern they liked, we'll give it to them.
Okay. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So many things. So many things.
So that would be a super prize. So
yeah, that would be an amazing prize. And yeah.
And then
Okay.
you get a chance to see more of Jennifer's patterns.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're all lovely. There's still quite a few in there. And as I said, there's some of the sweater patterns I'm quite interested to make. And actually, I think I already had a couple in my library or definitely in my favorites.
I know I had some in my favorites.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Okay. So do you have any whips?
I do.
Okay. How many?
But I think I only brought the one. Yeah, I only brought one down with me. I forgot to bring my vest down. Okay, well, you'll see my vest next week. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I was all excited about the riptide and the brioche, and yeah, I left my vest upstairs. Oh my gosh, it looks so good.
It's almost done. So this is my riptide. Is it called the riptide vest or riptide slipover?
Let me just look that up for you because it's in my list. Riptide vest.
Okay, because I had it in my list as riptide slipover, but I might have just typed it in like that.
Okay.
So whatever it's called, it's riptide. Anyway, so this is my vest, and it is almost finished. I've done the front band, so you can see there I've split the hem. So I've done the front. The back's just a little bit longer. It looks so much better once you've blocked it out and can really see see the stitch in it. But this is done in the Knitting Loft's Mesa, which is their 100% Peruvian sport weight. So because sport weight is a little bit lighter than what the pattern calls for, the pattern calls for DK. Like I got my gauge and actually went up a couple of sizes to get what I wanted in a finished garment, but it's still only it'll still take me less than 2 skeins of the Mesa to finish this. So this color is called dark teal. And again, I was looking through my wardrobe when I could still walk, and they were actually surprising. Even this would look great with like a chambray shirt.
It would look amazing. Yeah.
Or a white shirt, or I've actually got a pattern shirt that's got a teeny tiny bit of that color in it, which I think will look really good with that. And yeah, so like it's once I've done the bottom band, which I'm just now down into the broken rib on the back, then all I've got left to finish is the neckband. So seeing that I can't do anything else, this should be done tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to showing that off, figuring out some way to get it blocked by next week. Kelly, we might have to come over for a blocking party.
Okay, I can do that. Eileen says it is indeed the riptide slipover. I am totally wrong. Thank you, Eileen, for looking that up for us.
Okay, well, I wasn't sure because I thought I knew, and I thought, well, maybe I just, because you just think in terms of, I was thinking this was the Friday slipover, so I just stuck slipover in there. And anyway, you can find a lot of patterns on Ravelry by typing in either slipover or vest. And sometimes you might get different ones depending on what you type in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and we found that out when we were looking. How many things did you say you're working on? 5?
5, of course.
Okay, well, all right. Let me do this one then, just because mine is a riptide as well, and then we will move on. I showed these already, right? I did. I showed these because I finished them.
I think so.
I think so. So these were the little mitts, but these are not my whip. Okay, but I wanted to show you. So this was using so this is also Jennifer's pattern, and oh, I have an N that needs to be woven. Well, that doesn't look right. Anyway, this is using the Knitting Loft Starlight, and this is a sport weight yarn. I believe there's about 320 yards in it. So I used only about 30, a little over, yeah, about 35 yards to make this pair of fingerless mitts. So I had leftovers, and this is called pea gravel, this colorway. It's got 20% stellina in it. It's so pretty. I know that the stellina is showing up the way I'm holding it up against the light. It's such a pretty color. And it's kind of like a gray with khaki little bits in it. So then this afternoon, like literally maybe an hour before this, so not this afternoon, I cast on this tiny little tidbit. I would have been a little bit further, but Miles called and he was making Play-Doh ice creams, and he needed his Gigi to help him and to enjoy an ice cream with him. And then we went from ice creams to snowmen. So big blue snowmen. And anyway, so I might have gotten a little bit more done. But anyway, I love this. And so this is the Riptide 135.
135. Yeah.
135. Yeah. Yes. And I'm doing the 1. So this one will just be a little scarf that kind of ties around the neck. But how pretty is that?
Yeah.
With that
well, I was able to finish the 1 and a pair of the fingerless mitts out of 1 skein. So it may not get it to be actually as long as what the pattern calls for, but you can certainly make it long enough for something that you can tie around your neck.
Well, it took me 6 grams to get to this point here. I had 66.
Yeah.
So I've got 54 grams of knitting to do before I start playing my yarn chicken. But I love this yarn. I love this yarn. It is unbelievably soft. So soft. I can't wait. And I think this is going to be a really nice set to have too. So.
Yeah. Well, I know I gave mine away as a gift, so I have to do another one. But I do have some more.
I'm not giving mine away. So. I'm not giving mine away. Okay, carry on.
So, okay, someone had asked a question about a vest, if they could do the Surrey shirt as a vest. I think that the pattern that you can do, as long as it's something that you could wear something else underneath. And as far as the armholes go, the only thing that you've done is cast on for some rib. Not cast on and knit anything before you rib so that you've got sleeve, but if you just have to pick up and do some sort of rib, then it can still count as a slip over. But not something where you're definitely like, picking up a round, doing a sleeve, and then doing a rib, because then it's a top. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So the Surrey shirt would be fine. I've done that, and it's just ribbed. You just kind of pick up and go rib, and you could actually wear something under that. So, okay. So I have worked a little bit on my sock, but believe me, this sock is not something that you work on painkillers.
Oh, the Aragorn?
Yes. But I have gotten pretty far.
Yes.
So I'm almost at the toe for this one. So, and then what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to set myself up where I have to do so many rows every day. Just get it out in the morning, get those rows done and put it away. Cause it's not like difficult. I'm just doing like a twisted rib at the front and stocking stitch on the back. And I think the rib actually goes right down into the toe of this one. So I've actually just got to get it on a blocker and see how much more I need to go before I start the toe. And then I will get the other one on and get it done. But like I said, like you need to be, it's not difficult, but you need to be focused. No, it's difficult.
It is. It's tricky.
Okay. It's not difficult. It's,
you need to pay attention.
You need to pay attention. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just, yeah, at least I do anyways. Like I need to pay attention. I need to watch what I'm doing with the stitches. I'm getting the chart down, like, especially once you get past this, I can kind of read it and see where it goes, but every row is different. So you still kind of have to look at it, but I am really enjoying it and I'm enjoying the yarn. This is the Rowan sock yarn.
Here's
the
question.
That is new.
Are you going to enjoy the second one as much as you did the first one?
Oh, I am. I'll let you know when I start it. I just have to stay on track. This is probably the most intricate sock I've ever knit. I'm going to say that. And I do believe that some of the ones I'm going to pick for the second one, I'm going to pick something that's a little bit easier so that it's kind of a break. And maybe I'll intersperse them like that, where there's a more difficult pattern with an easier pattern.
You must really love the person that you're making that sock for.
This is for Ross. Okay?
I know.
So yes, I really do love this person. And he makes a lot of things for me. So
yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Yeah. So yeah, so those are, like I said, I like the yarn. That color of that yarn is called Jewel. It does have a really nice feel to it. It is just a single ply yarn, which I don't think I've done before, but it is classed as a sock yarn, and it does have some nylon in it. So I'll let you know after he's worn them next year how well the yarn wears.
How well they held up.
Yeah. Okay.
Sarah's wondering if you can spin on your e-spinner with your foot up.
Not yet, because my other foot has to be up. But once I would figure in another week or so, I should be able to hold my leg down. It's just when you have your leg down, you just feel that pounding, right, in your foot.
Yeah, yeah.
So once I can kind of put it down for a bit, I should be able to. I actually probably could take the e-spinner and put it on my little lap desk and just use the hand for the control on and off. But I'm not that desperate to switch from knitting yet, so.
And Kelly was asking what the cast on is that we now use all the time. And Sarah, I think, already answered, but yes, it is indeed the alternating cable cast on, our new favorite thing that I use probably 90% of the time now when I cast on for a sweater.
Yep.
Or for other things,
too, yeah.
For socks, It's life-changing.
Okay. So this is my next whip, and I'm almost at the point of doing the rib for the body. So this is let me just see here, the Flutterby cardigan by Kitty Winks Knits. So this, cute. Again, I just have to do the rib at the bottom basically, and then the sleeve. So really, if I just pick this up, I could probably finish it in a day or two. This is done in Lion brand Wool Ease, and I can't remember what the colors are. Pale pink and purple. I don't know if they were the actual real colors, but they will be in my Ravelry page, and that will be linked, and we will get show notes should be up there tomorrow night, so that will all be linked. So really enjoying this. I'm going to do a second cardigan in a smaller size with the reverse color, so it'll be the pale pink for the main color, and the little Flutterbys will be in the dark purple color. So again, Zoe wanted one of these too.
Yes.
even though she's always too hot to wear sweaters. But
yes. And Mary, yes, the alternating cable cast on is for the rib. Yes. And there is, you can use it for a 1x1 or a 2x2.
2x2, it's basically the same as kind of when you're doing a tubular cast on. For a 2x2, you basically have to start with the 1x1 and then you convert it. Yeah. So, but if you look up, there are instructions to do that. If you look up on Ravelry, like 2x2 alternating cable cast on for 2x2, and it will show you how to do it.
And you know what? I forget to do that all the time. I forgot to do it. So I was using the sewn bind off for binding off on these socks. So it's the same thing. This was a 2x2, so I have to convert to a 1x1. Well, I looked at the first sock and I'm like, oh, okay, I did 2 rows in the contrast color. So I went right ahead and knit 2 rows. And then I went to, so like, okay, now it's time to bind off, cut my yarn 3 times long and looked at it and went, so then I had to take that off. And when you convert to that 1x1, you use a little bit more yarn. So it was a tight finish to get to this, but I got it done. And something else that I wanted to say before we moved on, and I forgot to talk about it. Another life-changing thing along with the alternating cable cast on is that I taught or forced myself to learn to do a continental 1x1 rib. Yeah, life-changing. It only felt uncomfortable for the first few rows, and then I stuck with it because it's your muscle memory that is going to make you do something. And after I did a few rows, I'm like, okay, this is feeling more comfortable. Stick with it, Kelly, stick with it. And you know what? This did not take that long using that method, because you don't have to, because I'm a thrower, I guess, right? So there's a lot of, over the needle, behind the needle, over the needle, behind the needle. Using just this one finger, you're kind of just dragging the yarn from side to side, and much, much quicker. So that's something that I'm going to keep working on, that I want to keep developing. Just these little skills, you know, that we have in knitting. And
Yeah.
just because you've done something always a certain way doesn't mean you're going to need to continue doing it that certain way forever. You can still learn.
Yep, for sure.
Okay.
Okay, so I've gotten quite a bit farther with the Paul clay. This is one that would be a lot farther along if it wasn't for the fact that they put the ivy in my hand too soon. I had a couple of hours where I couldn't knit on it, but I did take it with me today, and I got probably about 2 inches done, waiting for the bandages to get changed. So it's coming. So again, this is the Paul clay sweater by Midori Hirose.
Oh, yeah.
So
Sorry.
she is the same. That's okay. There it is. She is the same designer as the Ranunculus, and this is done in the base yarn. Here is the Ramofino yarn, and then all the contrasting colors in the yoke are Marie Wallen's British Breeds, and that was just leftovers that I had from my Primrose collection pullover. So it was a good way to use those up. I actually still even have some more that I could do, probably a child's version of this, but this is taking longer now because I'm just at the boring part. So hopefully soon. But I want to start something new, but I got to keep working on some of those things. And then the last, just bring it up here. The last new one that I just started.
Yeah, my sweater's upstairs too. I didn't bring any of my whips down. I've been working away at my sweater, and yeah, there it sits up. Well, next week you'll get to see how much further I get.
Okay. This is the Burmese Basic. Okay, so this is the Burmese Basic 18 by Beth McDonald Stone. So this is a new pattern series, actually, that Beth is bringing out, that it's going to be like just your basic sweater pattern, but it will be available in all different gauges, I believe, starting down at 12 up to like 28. So in increments, I'm not sure how much, but it'll be in different increments. So basically that means if you go to a yarn festival and you see a yarn that you like, but you don't know what you're going to knit, this pattern will be available in that wide array of, so if you just want to make like a basic plain sweater in it, it will be available in a wide array of gauge sizes so that you could use that yarn to make your sweater.
It's such a clever idea. It's like she has done all the sweater math for you.
That's right. Yeah. So I am test knitting the Burmese Basic 18. So it's the 18 stitch gauge. So, and again, like when we're doing this, you can kind of like add to this or do what you want. So I'm just following the basic design. But what I've done is started off, it's a 2x2 rib. So I did start off with the alternating cable cast on and then converted it to the 2x2 rib. But I started off with 2 strands of the mohair. So the mohair that I'm using is Zambezi, and it's just their ivory color. So it's just a plain cream colored mohair. And then my main body of my sweater is Full Moon Fibers Moonrock Slub. This color is a color that they did specially for Little Red Mitten. So it's just called Little Red Mitten. And I'm holding that, one strand of that with one strand of the mohair. And then every so many rows, I'm doing the 2-row stripe.
I love the way it's turning out.
Loving the way it's turning out. And again, like, so it's just the basic sweater pattern, but then you just add something like a little stripe to it and it makes it look totally different. Or you have like, it's a perfect way to showcase like one of these slub yarns. And here's what the yarn, like, here's what the yarn looks like. So then when you put the two of them together, you can see how you get a really toned down version of the yarn. And so like total, I have 2 skeins of this, and the slub is 100% merino, and it's got, I don't know if it's 100% merino. I don't know if it's got nylon in it or not. I'll have to look that out, but it's a fingering weight yarn, but then because of the slubs in it, it kind of fills in texture the same way a mohair does. And then
there's something else because it's wrapped, right?
I think there might be. Yeah. Yep. And then the Zambezi is a 70% mohair, 30% silk. I don't believe they make it anymore. It's from Felice Artist Handmaiden, but they do have something that's comparable. And it's a great mohair because it comes in a big ball. I think it's 100. I think it's
1,000 yards, isn't it?
1,000 yards. But I think it's 125 grams. So one, like 1,000 yards is lots to do this sweater. I'll still have this left over, but I'm really, really enjoying this. And this is nice. And it kind of keeps your interest because you are changing every so many rows. So even
it's so subtle and I love it so much.
I really
It
like
looks
it. I'm
so
really,
good.
really, and I love the feel of the yarn. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my slub yarn, and I'm really, really happy with this. And the fabric is nice and light and drapey, but it's not see-through in any way, shape, or form. And yeah, and it was fun just to put the little stripes in, and like it would be great in one that you put a neon stripe into, or I don't know. There's endless possibilities. Like you could do, I don't know. There's so many possibilities, even if you just wanted to put a little bit of lace work in around the yoke or.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I really totally love this though, because with the yoke sweater, like sometimes if you've got a really slick yarn, you can kind of see where you put your increases. But with this, you can't see them at all. With this textured yarn, you can't see any. You can't see where those increases are. So
Susan, her mohair is Zambezi by Fleece Artist. I don't think, I'm confident they don't make that yarn anymore.
No, but Handmaiden does have a 70% mohair, 30% silk yarn. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the same yardage and the same composition as what this is. So anyway, so yeah, it's fun. So
well, it's looking great. That. And, you know, mohair is just like that great equalizer because, you know, sometimes we have these skeins that are a little bit busy or maybe a little brighter than we would like. And then you add mohair and it just, I mean, look at how muted and subtle and gorgeous that sweater becomes as soon as you add.
It helps alleviate some of the pooling too.
Yes, absolutely.
You don't notice it as much. And yeah, so, and I mean, that sweater too would be great if you, like, let's say you didn't want to use mohair, you could probably use like one of the Surrey alpacas, and then maybe you could even do that and put a lace weight with it. So, I mean, basically, when she comes out with this pattern range, there's going to be so many.
You'll be able to do it with anything.
So many gauges in it, you can pick and choose what you want. It would be perfect to do like a sparkle sweater. Oh, you could even do like a sweater where you just put in 2 rows of the sparkle as the stripes.
Yes. Yeah, just so nice.
Okay, I gotta stop. I got enough things on my plate to finish, but yeah.
You'll be spinning on that sofa tonight. You're gonna get yourself all wound up.
I know. I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. I'm gonna be. Yeah. Anyway.
Eileen says that she has a sensitivity to mohair, and I'm just trying to think because recently we've been. Pardon me.
I said a lot of people who find that they do have a sensitivity to mohair are okay with the alpaca, so you could try the alpaca.
But I'm also thinking, wasn't there just something that we came across that we
the Athena? The Atenia?
Atenia, yes. And I'm trying to remember what was the construction of that because
it had cotton in it. Yeah, I don't think it had mohair in it. Anyway,
no, I don't think. No, it definitely didn't. It didn't. It definitely did not have mohair in it. I remember that.
I'll write that down, and we'll come up with look and see what we can find.
Some alternatives. Maybe we'll report back on that next week.
Yeah.
So, okay. There were just a few questions that I've collected throughout the evening here. Mary says, for knitting with Holst, what kind of a gauge would you get with knitting with 3 strands? She would love to know for more of a chunky for a vest. I know that 2 strands of super soft get you like a light worsted. So what would 3 strands get you?
I don't know. I've not ever done it with 3 strands, so I don't know.
I think on their website, do they not have something on there that talks about that? Have you ever looked on there, Mary?
They usually tell you 1 strand and 2 strands, but I don't think I've seen 3 strands.
So just swatch, see what you get, and report back, Mary. Let us know. Okay, here's another question.
We didn't go through questions. That's why I still have some questions on here.
Oh, okay.
We skipped that part.
Someone has love. Hi from New. Oh, I hope I never. I'm sorry. We don't know your first name, but anyway, she has some lovely burnt orange indie dyed fingering, but it is twist on twist. So the block swatch looks like I've knitted with elastic. Only ideal for socks, she asks. You know, I have some Targhee that I tried to knit a shawl out of.
But I wonder if you knitted at a looser gauge and held like a mohair or an alpaca or something with it.
Maybe, because it wasn't suitable for me as a shawl. I love the colors. I still have it in stash. I said that I would maybe knit socks with it one day. So I think that might be a good alternative if you did hold it with something to kind of tone down that spring a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, mohair
Isabel
might be
says
nice.
the Atenia is 40% merino, 40% cotton, then 18% goat cashmere. So no mohair in it.
No
But
mohair.
mohair comes from a goat, but cashmere comes from a goat. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so a few of the questions that I had, someone was wondering if they knew of a vest pattern in Let Lopi that had some color work at the top. I don't. Maybe somebody out there does. If you do, put it in the notes for us, and then we'll put that up next week. And then another question is about alternate methods for baubles, and I will look into this for next week. I know that you do it. I know you have a slightly different method than I use because I do the knitting backwards.
Yes.
But I'm going to table these for next week because I didn't have enough time this week to really.
You had nothing but time. You had nothing but time.
Not focusable time.
Yeah, the method I use is okay. We can talk about it next week, though. Yes.
Okay. Okay, and someone else wanted to know an easy way to wind mohair. Like I usually have not had a problem, but I know I thought maybe that I'd heard that some people said that it might be easier if you put it in the freezer first.
I have heard that. I've never had to do it
as much, so maybe it would be easier to wind if you did that.
I guess maybe it depends on how you're winding it too. I have a Swift and a winder, and I don't find I have a problem. I imagine it could be a little trickier if you were trying to wind it by hand and using, you know, I don't know, like the back of a chair or something. It could be a lot stickier. I think, no, that was something else. I was going to say, I think we were hand winding something in Paris that time, but no, that was a different yarn. It wasn't.
I know sometimes a lace weight yarn I know I had a lace weight yarn once that was 100% silk and I had to wind it by hand. It was slipping off all over the place, but that was what I had heard about mohair, that if you put it in the freezer, it tended to stick on itself left. So it might be easier to put on and wind that way. So, okay. So the other things I've got notes for next week. Were there any other questions for tonight, Kelly?
No, that was it.
Okay.
Oh, and Catherine did note though, high twist will knit on the bias. Yes, it will.
Okay.
Something else to be aware of.
Someone wanted to know if high twist is okay to crochet with, and I don't know because I don't know enough about crochet to know what. I guess the best thing to do is just try it and see if you like what it looks like, or see if it's twisting in any direction, or so. Okay, so I'll look at bauble methods for next week. We'll have a bauble party.
A bauble party. That sounds great. Okay, let's recap.
Yeah, okay. Okay, don't forget, if you're still interested in Jennifer's patterns and you weren't our winner tonight, there's two ways that you can still win. One is to go to Instagram and follow JST Knitwear or Kelly or myself, and you'll find the info, or just go to one of our Instagram sites and you can find the info and you can have a chance to win there. Jennifer will draw the winner of that prize on Friday. And if you are watching this video after the fact, there's also going to be a bundle given away by Jennifer. We will draw that just before we podcast next Tuesday. And for that, what we want you to do is go on to Jennifer's Ravelry store and see what her patterns are, and let us know what pattern that you like that's not in the group of 6 patterns that she's given away. And when we draw next week, not only will you receive the patterns from Jennifer, you will also receive the pattern of your choice from Kelly and myself. So single pattern.
Yeah.
Okay. So even if you watch tonight, you can go in and make that comment once the video goes up and go through and let us know what you like. Okay. And make sure you get your vest on the go and get your socks in there, and, you know, be planning for Advent. So
I know I have a lot to do this week. Apparently I've got to get my Advent thing to show for next week too. I haven't fully decided on a project yet, so I've got to get to work on that. And I've got my vest that I'm working on, and which I forgot to bring down and show. And I've been working away. I am completely hooked right now on Beth's test knit for the Deep Dean. I am like in the zone, and that's all I want to work on. So, but I've got to get some stuff done. Okay. Well, this
Okay.
has been great.
So
Thank you so much for
yeah,
joining us
thanks
tonight.
everybody for joining us. And yeah, you know, Tuesday nights are fun. I missed it last week, but could not possibly have been there.
No,
So
I think I said that to you too, right? I said,
it would have been
because
laying flat on my back with a thing like this.
yes, because we were FaceTiming on I think Wednesday on the morning, we were FaceTiming and I said, "Yeah, you want a funny laugh for today?" And you said, "What?" And I said, "Remember last week when you said, you know what? I can probably do the show on Tuesday night." Ha ha ha.
Okay. Okay. You win. I could not have.
You could not have.
No,
No, absolutely not. But it is so nice to see you back up in that chair again. I thought we were going to be seeing you from the couch, so I was quite surprised to see you propped up
no,
there.
this is just that it's not enough room on the couch for things around. And this is just the better setup because because the iPad screen's even smaller than the computer screen and I can hardly see this one. So
Okay.
anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. And we hope you all have a great week and enjoy your making. And we will see you next week. So happy knitting.